Hello. Today I'm going to show you how to model a simple robot in Blender. When you start with a new document or file in Blender, you're going to start with this cube. You really don't need that for now, so we can go ahead and delete it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add an image. I'll include a link to the image in the description below. You can do Shift A to add something, go down to empty and select image. Now all we have to do is apply the image onto the empty we just selected. You can do that by going to the empty properties here and then opening the image. Now you can see the image was applied onto the empty. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scale the image up by pressing S to scale and then 3 to scale it 3 times its original size. Now what want to do as well is I want to make this upright, stand upright. So we're going to do R to rotate and then X to rotate on the X axis. And I'm going to type 90 so it rotates in 90 degrees. Now we're ready to start modeling. I recommend modeling in orthographic mode because this makes life a lot easier. We're going to press 5 to go into orthographic mode, and then 1 to go into front, so you can start modeling it from the front. Alright, now we're going to do Shift A, and this time we're going to add a mesh and a cube. Now we're going to press Z to go into wireframe mode so we can see what's behind it, and it'll make modeling a lot easier. Now what we're going to do is we're going to want to make this cube match the head, the upper part of the head. It's simple because all you got to do is press S to scale, and you can press Z to rotate to scale on the Z axis. That's fine. Now we can press S to scale again and X this time to rotate on to scale it on the X axis. And that should be fine. It doesn't need to be perfect. Now we're going to repeat this procedure again for the neck, the body, and the base. I'm just going to cut forward so you don't have to watch me model this part. Alright, welcome back. Now if you press Z, you can go out of wireframe mode. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get out of orthographic mode, and you see our robot looks a little wonky. So we're going to fix that right now. You could select the head and scale it on the Y-axis this time, and just start making it look a bit more normal. And that should be fine. As you can see, you can kind of view it here to see how the shape is supposed to be. Like the neck's a bit more forward and whatever. But this should be fine. I'm just going to scale the base down a bit. And yeah, that should be fine. Now we're going to go back into orthographic mode by pressing 5 on the number pad and then 1 to go back in the front. I'm going to toggle wireframe mode again. Now what we have to do is we're going to have to make the arms. So we're going to do Shift A again, and instead of adding a cube this time, we're going to add a cylinder. Now we're just going to rotate. We're going to scale the cylinder down a lot by pressing S, and now it's a bit more. That should be fine. Now what we want to do is, oops, where's the cylinder go? There it is. I'm going to scale it on the Z-axis a bit to make it a bit taller. And I'm just going to rotate by pressing R, and going to try to match the shape a bit. And that should be fine. Now if you want to detail your arm a bit more, you can press Tab to go into edit mode. If Tab doesn't go into edit mode, you can just hit edit mode from down here, and that'll put you into edit mode. Now I'm going to press 5 to go back into perspective mode and hide the empty for now, so just start focusing on the cylinder. What you can do is, if you hold Alt and select the vertex down here, it'll only select the bottom around. And if we extrude it out a bit by pressing E, you can kind of make it longer or shorter. Now then, why would you be doing this if you could scale it on the Z-axis? Well, you kind of make a cut right here when you do that. And now for example, if I scale it down by pressing S, you see the rest of the cylinder isn't affected by the scaling, but this part is. So if I extrude it out a bit more like this, and let's say scale it up, it'll kind of only affect this part instead of the entire arm. So you can kind of make some design or detail, however you want to make the arm. I'm going to keep mine really simple for now. Whatever, that should be fine. Now I'm going to press tab to get out of edit mode and go back to object mode. Again, if it doesn't go to object mode, just go down here and select object mode. I'm going to go back into orthographic mode and then press 1 to go into front and unhide the image. Now I'm going to duplicate the arm by holding shift and pressing D. And you can just move it to the other side and again press R to rotate, and that should be fine. Now all we have to do is just give this robot a few colors and that should be fine. What we're going to do is we can get rid of the empty now or hide it. And we're going to join this robot together, everything except the base. And you can do that by selecting everything. If you want to select more than one object, you hold shift and right click all the objects and each one you select will be added. You'll select them all together. Now we're going to do Control J to join them together. If you're on Mac, the command will be Command J instead of Control. Now in order to change its color, you're going to click on the materials. If you don't see it, just make this a bit longer. The materials is this one, and we're going to add a new material. And if you click here on the white, you can change its color. I'm going to make this one a light blue color. And I'm going to make the base a slightly darker blue. And there we go. You have a really simple robot model with Blender.